Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to be starting with doing some graphics programming in Java, and this is going to be really interesting. So we are just going to be using two of the APIs that are built in Java. So we'll need to import those first. So let's import Java x.swing.star first. That's the only one we'll need right now. Uh, so let's just go ahead and create a window first. So a window in Java is basically called a JFrame. So let's create a JFrame myFrame equals new JFrame, and as a message we need to give what the title needs to be. So let's give the title of this is a window. And the next thing we need to do is we need to set its size. So myFrame dot set size, and let's just give it a size of something like 800 by 600. And the third thing we need to do is we need to set it to visible. So myFrame dot set visible and pass it true. So let's just keep it at this right now, and let's do Java C graphics test.java, and let's do this now. So as you can see, this is a window that has been created from the program. So here's the title that we gave it. It says this is a window, and right now the window is empty, but we'll soon be adding stuff to that window. So let's just stop this program first. So we can actually add buttons to the window. So a button in Java Swing is the API that we're using. So that's called a JButton. So let's create a JButton. Um, my button equals new JButton, and the message we give here is the string that we want, the text that we want inside the button. So let's just say click me, and for this button we need to again set its position and size. So let's just do my button dot the method here is set bounds. So this takes 4 integer arguments. The first one is the x position. So let's just keep it at 400. The y position, which is let's say 300, and let's just give it a width of 100 and a height of 40. So now that we've done that, the next thing we need to do is although we have created a button, there's no way that this button is inside this frame right here, so we need to add it to that frame. So let's just do a my frame dot add and give it my button. So we've now added it to the frame, and one small thing that we need to do here is we need to set a property called the layout. So we need to do a set layout to null, and the reason we are doing this is because if we don't do this, the button will just take up the entire screen, and we don't want that to happen. So that's why we need to set the layout to null. And let's just go ahead and compile this program again, and as you can see there's a button right here which says click me, and I can actually click on this button, and the click does nothing. So clicking on a button is an example of an event, and an event could be anything. An event could be a left mouse click, a right mouse click, or just hovering the mouse, or dragging the mouse, which is holding the left mouse button and then moving the mouse. That's another event. So all of these are events. and clicking on the button is an event as well. And we can actually add event listeners. So event listeners are basically things that listen for an event, and whatever we write in that method would be what gets implemented when a click happens. So these are things that you can actually look up. We will be adding events later, but my focus is on something slightly different, and we're going to be creating something really cool with this. So before that, I just want you to look at the other library, and for that, let's just create a new file, and I'll call this my panel. So let's just import java x.swing.star, and the other library we are going to be using is java.awt. So I'll just import awt.star, and let's just create the public class my panel, um, and this will extend the JPanel. And a panel is just a container to which contains other components. So we just need to implement one method here. That's the public void paint component method, and this takes a graphics object. So let's call it G, and this graphics class is what's present in the AWT library. So inside this, let's just do super.paint component, and we need to pass the graphics object. And next, what we can do is for the panel, we can set the background. So let's just do this.set background, and the AWT library also contains a color class, and there are a lot of constants inside of it. So let's just set the background to white, and next what we can do is we can set the color. So g dot set color, and let's just use blue for this because I kind of like blue. And then the graphics object also has a lot of methods that we can use. So one of the methods is the fill rect method, which creates a rectangle, and the rectangle is filled with whatever is my pen color. So right now it's blue. This again takes four arguments. That's the x, y, width, and height. So let's just set the x and y to 25, 25, and let's just set the width and height to 80 and 30. So now that we've done that, this is the only method that we need to implement here. That's all we need to do. Let's go back to our graphics test, and let's get rid of this button part, and I can actually get rid of the set layout part as well. So let's get rid of this, and here let's create a my panel. Let's say m is equal to new my panel, and all that's left is to add this to the um, frame. And once that's done, we can actually try and run this program. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's run it now. So as you can see, we've created a rectangle here, which is filled with the blue color, and the background is white. We can actually also set the background to some other color like red, let's say, um, although this won't really look good, but we can have something like this. Um, so that covers the basics for the graphics part. I'm going to switch this back to white, and this covers the basics for the graphics part. You can play around with it a bit. You can add a few buttons. You can look what other components you have. But in the next video, what we're going to be doing is something very interesting. We're going to be creating a ball and then moving it around. So be sure to watch that video. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll see you there.